Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first podcast for the topic tiers. I think it's important I explain to you what the topic tiers are and what we're going to be doing. The topic tiers for right now are just two people. Myself, Josh, and also another Josh. So you can't get our names wrong because we're named the same. It's a coincidence. Or our
Hashtag
parents
winning.
Knew each other. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But the topic tiers, it's a fun fact. There's a history of the topic tiers that needs to be told. In 1884, a man named Wilson, only Wilson, no last name, no first name, just Wilson. Just Wilson. He could have made the footballs or the volleyball that saved Tom Hanks' life. Wilson.
Wilson.
He founded the topic tiers with the thought of, let's have a bunch of old white people sit in a room, specifically dudes, and talk to each other about certain topics away from the societal views of especially women folk. And then slowly it ended up getting into a bigger kind of thing where he slowly got more and more, you're hanging yourself, slowly got more and more people to come and listen and talk with him and slowly pay him money for his hamburgers, specifically his hamburgers, not what he was talking about. But as they slowly started talking more and more, they got more and more people, and they became a society. That wasn't really a big deal. You know, it didn't even come close to rivaling, say, the Stonemasons or the Freemasons or even the KKK, as it were, back in those days, which were important. They were an important group. I'm killing it. Feminism and racism right away, right?
Yeah.
I'm killing it with this.
That's right.
Slowly, he started building a following. When Wilson died, a bunch of very rich white people, died.
Right.
Rich white people who Republicans took over and thought the best way to get more money is to make this society secret all of a sudden. Because white people in America love nothing more than being part of a secret society. That's just a true thing. And they made it secret, made it hard to join. And a bunch of people joined, and they thought they thought that it would, the people that were there thought, hey, I won't have to pay as many dues anymore. But guess what? Because of the Republicans and they love money, in 1950, they tripled the dues. So a bunch of people left. And slowly it dwindled down to just the two people you hear here in the topic tiers, certified members who were sworn in by a man in a cloak who called himself Wilson. Duh, it comes full circle.
Wilson!
That was completely made up and a waste of what I would assume looks like 25, actually only 3 minutes of your life. 3 minutes of your life. The topic tiers are basically just the two of us going to talk about random topics that we're going to pick. Hopefully at one point, if we get enough of a following, we're going to have you pick it for us. You, I mean, whoever's listening to this, which right now is just one person live.
That's right. Actually, we have a
live audience.
We have a live audience. We have a live studio audience right now.
We do.
That's
no
fantastic.
clapping.
There's no applause sign. Don't do that.
So sooner or later we'll get ideas for topics, but as of right now, because we are the captains of our own ship, we get to choose what we want, and because I came up with that idea, I have chosen movies. Now, before I get into the real nuts and bolts of this, I want to explain first the rules, so to speak. When we talk about these topics, we're going to hopefully not talk about the same old stupid stuff like what's your favorite movie, who's your favorite actor, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that, all the stupid things that nobody wants to hear and, would rather turn off or listen to some person who's in the movie business explain to you because it matters that they care about it.
Yeah.
Whereas we're just two idiots from South Central Pennsylvania and our opinion doesn't super matter to you or the movie industry. But in that phrase, we're also going to have these fun little things that both of us get to do, which is called rant or chill, which basically means that if we're ranting about something, and I'm sure we're both going to get off topic and rant about stuff, we can tell the other person, hey, the rant's going on too much, chill, and you got to stop. Now, the rant means that you can then override that and say, I want to rant about it. Now, you could also do it the other way of you're hearing something, hey, rant, shut up, I want to talk about it. And then I could just tell you to chill, and then you won't be able to say anything. So it could be this thing where, it works out really well, or it could be this really convoluted thing that I just explained that makes absolutely no fucking sense, and no one would understand it,
We don't know.
right?
Right.
It could be either or, and it could be something we do once and never do again, much like this podcast itself. Could be something we do once and never do again.
That's sad.
It is. It is sad.
It is sad.
It is sad.
I don't want to hear that.
We Tarantino'd it by ending it sadly, and then we're going to go back in time and tell you why it's important that that sad thing happened.
Right.
But with that in mind, the first topic is movies. And we're going to try to touch on a couple things in movies. The first thing I want to touch on is what movie ruined you is the question. And let me explain what I mean by ruined you. I have two of them, so that's perfect for me because one ruined me for a while and then unruined me. The first one that ruined me, they're actually both Alfred Hitchcock films. The first one was Psycho. I saw when I was 10. And for a really long time in my life, I would go into my bathroom fully clothed, take all of the clothing I'm going to wear when I get out of the bathroom, lock the door behind me, take a shower, get fully clothed and ready for the day in the bathroom, then come out, and then and only then unlock the door and come out. And that's it. Because I was so sure that someone was going to murder me while I was taking a shower that it was the only choice a 10-year-old Josh had. Now, I will say I obviously got over that, and I say obviously because, I mean, you guys don't know this, or people listen to this, but this morning I took a shower with the door in my bathroom wide open, completely unlocked. Anybody could have came in and murdered me however many times they wanted to this morning, and I was fine with that. Now, there is another movie, like I said, an Alfred Hitchcock movie that ruined me and has ruined me forever for things, but since I've been talking for mostly like all of this however many minutes.
6 now.
6 minutes.
I don't know. I can't read that.
I'll let the other person
almost
talk.
7. We're
Almost 7.
Yeah.
I'll let the other person talk and share. Well, so in that aspect, what movie ruined you?
Yeah, so I thought long and hard about this. And this movie came out in 2002.
Somewhat newer than
So
the ones I'm talking
It's
about.
somewhat newer. We're talking 13 years ago. I would have been a 20-year-old Josh. So 10 years after your Psycho
less formative years.
situation.
Less
Right.
formative years.
Right.
Yes.
This movie is called The Ring.
Oh, okay.
This movie consisted of a television,
Which we all have.
which we all own. Most of them are flat now. This one was not.
Uh-huh.
That had snow as its channel.
Okay. So
You know,
static.
The static
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
That's a good noise for a podcast, by the
And
way.
you like that? Yeah. And
We could do that for 10 minutes if we run out of things to
we
say.
probably could actually. This TV had a. Am I allowed to swear?
I already said fuck twice.
Oh, okay, good.
That was 3.
That's all right. Fair enough. This TV had a fucking little girl
Yeah.
come out of it.
Oh, come out of the TV. That's right.
Out
the ring.
of TV.
Sure, yeah.
Like crawled
Towards
out
you.
of the TV towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. I never 100% saw the ring, so does this...
Don't.
Let me ask you a question. Does she come out of the TV towards you like you're the first-person shooter type situation? Or does she come out of the TV and, like, grab some other child or person and drag them into what you would call the TV static hellscape?
No, she comes out towards you.
Towards you?
Towards you.
Like you're the first-person shooter type situation?
Yes.
Like Doom, but you don't have even a knife?
It starts with her coming towards you. It does cut away then to a third person type
Okay, well, that's
type
good.
of view, and then you're seeing her crawl
Yeah.
out of the TV and crawl towards somebody else.
All right. So what has that done to you? Like what? Because I told that fantastic story about tiny little Josh locking bathroom doors and being mad scared of dying in the shower.
You did. You definitely did.
So what has that done to you?
To this day, I will not watch TV alone in the dark.
Alone in the dark. So if you're in your home, which we're in right now,
We're currently in my home.
and the other person that's here in the live studio audience that's normally here with you isn't here with you,
Right.
and it's nighttime, which it currently is.
Right.
You have to have a light on in this room if the TV's on.
All the lights in this
All the
room,
lights.
which are currently on.
Right, of course. Well, other people are here, though.
I also have the kitchen light turned on,
Yeah.
which projects light into. Don't you turn that off? Which projects light into this room.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And there's a light in the hallway, which will also project light into this room.
And
they will all be turned
have to be on.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Do you have a bed? Do you have a TV in your bedroom?
I do.
Do you have... Okay, so do you have that on when you're in your bed?
Yes.
That's fine?
I'm not alone. I have someone next to me.
No, if you lived by yourself.
The lights are on.
And the
I have
TV's on.
fallen asleep with lights and TV on.
That's real?
That is a real situation.
Well, that movie did ruin you, sir.
That is a
if you
real
got to fall asleep
situation.
with every light and TV on,
That's a real thing.
in your room, that's a sad thing, man.
I don't disagree.
It's okay. I mean, it's
It's
fine.
The Ring. No, The Ring 2, not as scary.
Really?
And I
You
know,
know
you're
what?
asking yourself, why did you watch The Ring 2
That's-
when The Ring 1 scared
But
the
you know
shit
what?
out
That's
of
a
you?
good offshoot because I've experienced in my life a bunch of movies, especially scary movies, especially scary movies, that the second movie is not as scary as the first one. Like the first
right.
one is blood-curdlingly frightening, and the second one is like, okay, I get it. You're doing the same thing as the first one.
Well, let's be honest. What is happening is the creators, the writers of movie 1
Yeah.
blew their entire creative load
Yeah.
in one movie,
Right.
tried to reboot it for sequel or prequel.
More money,
And
right?
it's never going to be as good. That's the long and short.
What do you think? It's because they're trying to like redo the same thing again, and like you already
Yeah.
saw the kid come out of the
Right.
TV.
They're
So you're saying what you're saying is that ruins you, but if you would see that again, would it ruin you more, or would you just be like, okay, yeah, that already frightened me half to death?
That's my reaction would be like, you've been here, done this.
I can't-
I'm already
I
scarred.
can't get more dead.
I can't. I'm already so numb to this now. You can't make it any worse.
It's the video game violence thing. I've already
Right.
shot this stupid grandma I pulled out of a car in GTA.
Right.
What can I do that's worse?
Right. Let me pick up a prostitute.
Who cares?
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's interesting. I don't know if it'd be interesting to figure out if there ever was a movie. I mean, because I will say that there's been movies before that I thought the sequels were better. I mean, the first one I'll tell you right off the bat, and this is going way off the cuff of horror movies, is I thought Thor: Dark World was far better than the first Thor.
I've seen neither of them.
In fact, I'm a big proponent of Thor: Dark World as the best Marvel movie made to this point.
Wow. That's a statement.
Yeah.
That's.
I
a
love that
statement.
movie. I love the way
No,
it
I
ends.
haven't seen it. So
I love.
can't-
I mean, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the elves, but you know, you know what? You're gonna have things you don't like in movies.
Well, this is true.
But I don't hate the main villain, and I like the way it ends, and I like the fact that, you know, spoiler alert, Loki, I think, murdered Odin. I'm not 100% sure. You said you didn't see it,
I
so
didn't
tough
see it,
guts.
so
That just got ruined
You
for
did
you.
alert me to the spoiler.
Personally?
And I didn't earmuff myself.
You didn't earmuff
that was my
myself?
fault.
But I
That's
wonder
all
if
me.
there's ever been. I wonder how many movies when there's a franchise. I mean, I guess we have that on the topic to get to it later about
We
movies
do.
that should have had more franchises or less. But I wonder if there's ever been a movie where like it consistently got better. Or like maybe
As the
there was a
franchise
trilogy,
progressed?
or maybe there was like, because the only thing I could think of that actually I know at least the second one was better, other than Thor, was Back to the Future.
You just-
2 was a fucking
You
amazing.
just took it right out of my. It's like you just got in my head and just
It's-
sucked it right out.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a hoverboard in the second
right.
one,
And they're
there's
real now.
a hoverboard
That's a real thing now.
in the second one.
And the Cubs
Yeah, win the World Series.
win the World Series.
Yeah, and they're played tonight,
Right.
Actually, in real time.
That's
Isn't it like October 21st, 2015 is when he goes to, right?
yeah.
And that's this year.
That's this year. It's coming up.
In a couple of short days,
Yeah.
we're gonna see Marty McFly in a sweet ass vest on some city street
Somewhere. Right.
with a sweet ass hoverboard from Mattel.
Looking clueless.
Hey man, hey man, is that future me? Why am I all ticky? I'm moving around a lot. It's
That's-
weird.
Time travel is
Time travel does some weird shit to you,
it's a
Marty.
bitch, yeah. We haven't mastered that yet, Marty.
Marty, this is 100% my fault. Sorry, should have tested. Should have sent a hamster through or something first.
Yeah,
This is my fault.
Marty, I hate to break this to you. They don't make the DeLorean anymore.
Uh-oh. They don't make the... Well, you know what? Back on what I was actually talking about, which was... what was I talking about? Oh, movies that ruined me to stuff. So, you said The Ring. The first
Ring,
one for me
terrifying.
was Psycho. And then I said other Alfred Hitchcock movie. My other one that still ruined me towards stuff is... I saw when I was 8. Now, you would think, why would 8-year-old, 9-year-old Josh watch Psycho and The Birds is the other one, The Birds, because my father thought Alfred Hitchcock was a great director, and it was time for tiny Josh to get scared out of his cotton-picking mind about
8 years
things.
old?
8 years old. And to this day, if any more than 15 birds are in a singular area, I get super frightened of those birds. Have they come together? Are they sentient? Are they thinking about what they're going to do next?
What are they plotting?
Are they plotting to kill me? Are they going to fly at my car soon? Now, here's what's interesting about this. I could see 1,000 ducks or geese in a singular area, and I will think nothing of those stupid duck-billed birds that have no way of hurting me for whatever reason. But you put like 16 robins in a singular area and make them all, especially if they all look at me at the same time.
Those little black beady
The
eyes.
only thing I'm going to think is shit is going down, and I have no choice but to hopefully get in my car and make it to what I assume the safety is of the ocean. Because seagulls are also super scary, but for some reason, I don't. I guess also maybe a illogical reasoning here. If I get on a boat, birds can't follow me.
I mean, you might be on something there. I can't confirm nor deny that.
Seeing as how air is everywhere and they can fly, that was a very stupid thing.
You'd think they'd have to rest.
At some point, they rest on the boat. They really can catch the boat.
I disproved your theory, but
so yeah, I mean, birds has still ruined me towards multiple birds, especially, I mean, honestly, especially crows. Yeah, I was driving home from work literally 2 weeks ago and saw 6 crows in a field relatively close to each other in what I perceived as a perfect circle of each other. Now, probably they weren't a perfect circle of each other, but I was like, shit, those birds are in a perfect circle for some reason. They understand I'm here, and they're just waiting for me to go by in my car, and then they will tail me home, find out where I live, tell their bird friends, and tomorrow morning when I come out of my house, 60 birds will be on my front lawn just staring at me, going, hey, buddy, how's it going? You going to work today? No, because I'm going to peck your eyes out.
And did that happen?
No, it didn't happen. I said ruin me towards stuff, you know? It's not real. I know it's not real, but that's what makes it even more fun. That's what makes it more fun. Because it's not real. It's still super scary to me in my irrational brain.
Birds are scary beings.
Well, not all birds. Like if I go into a house,
blackbirds.
If I go into a house and they have a bunch of birds, right? Like a bunch of
in the house.
You know what? Birds aren't buzzards, big birds like eagles and stuff like that. Less terrifying for some reason to me. Those go to the cool range. I guess my thought process is if you're big enough to pick up a small animal and carry it away for my amusement, I'm cool with you. If you're small enough that there's no way you can actually physically hurt me, but there's a lot of you, then I'm terrified of you.
All right. I get it.
Explain. No, you don't. Because think about how more terrifying like 50 hawks just staring at you would be. But for some reason, I wouldn't be okay with that. 50 hawks all in one place staring at me would be unbelievably frightening.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they're thinking. They're all hawks.
I don't want to know what they're thinking. Especially if I'm the only meat in town.
The only meat in town.
No, thank you, sir.
That's actually a good hashtag. The only meat in town. Hashtag the only meat in town.
Maybe we can copyright that.
The TOPICteers. Hashtag the only meat in town.
Have we ever copyrighted TOPICteers?
No, we don't got copyright. No one would use that. That's not a word. It's a fake word.
Well, that's the idea. We're gonna
it's a fake word. That's not real.
Google didn't used to be a word either.
Well, yeah, it's true. Google didn't. That's a good point. Google did not used to be a word, and now it is a word that means the most important thing in the world: to Google something.
And now Google's owned by Alphabet.
Google's owned by Alphabet?
Yeah, the parent company. They changed their name to Alphabet.
Is that real?
That's a real thing.
I don't know what Alphabet is, though.
I don't either. I mean, we use it.
Well, I thought
you just our letters.
You just brought up a thing that you were going to expand on.
Oh, I don't know the details.
And you didn't do it.
It was just useless knowledge that I was given to you.
I just realized I shouldn't be drinking that so close to the microphone.
That's probably going to make a noise.
Yeah.
We don't even have any sound effects or anything for this. We should work on that too.
Yeah, get a little
some background music.
Well, we can download stuff onto our like apps.
Yeah,
for soundboards onto our phones, and then just
soundboards.
hold the microphone to the.
Let's try that and see if it's
to the whatever. I think the other thing I need to figure out how to do is get some kind of stand for this microphone, because the other thing I'm noticing as I'm talking is that I'm using my hands like I normally do, So the microphone is
It's in and
leaving
out.
my
It's all
face.
over. I can see that when you're talking.
Right.
On the screen.
So that needs to stop. So I guess I need to get a stand at some point.
I'm downloading a soundboard.
Why would you download it now?
Why
in the
not?
midst of us doing something?
Why
We don't
not?
even know what it sounds like.
Because I'm
You're
just going to
test
insert
it.
a random sound effect. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, let's just move on to the next thing we wanted to talk about, which is what trend in movies, or what trend in movies, or what trend from a movie do you hate? Like what thing? Maybe even a quote. So what thing from a movie that started a trend, or a quote, or got a quote-gasm going that you just absolutely hate? And I'm going to utilize this time to bitch about shell necklaces. And I'm going to blame...
Is this a rant?
Nonsensically. No, I didn't say rant
Okay.
yet. I don't have to
All right.
say it. I could just do it.
You just... All right.
I'm going to nonsensically blame the Mexican and Brad Pitt and his sexy, sexy neck for having a shell necklace on it, for starting the waves of douchebags, which, full transparency, there are plenty of pictures of 16-year-old Josh with a shell necklace on.
How'd I know that was coming? Was not me. Wrong Josh.
And those people, I hate those people that hate shell necklaces, and I hated me at that point. I mean, there were cool things about me, but I think 16-year-old me and 32-year-old me would have a very drawn-out conversation about certain items that we do not see eye to eye on at this point. Which is just interesting. It's just me bitching about the fact that I wore a shell necklace, and I'm blaming Brad Pitt for it because he's just too sexy. And when Brad Pitt does things, you just have to go along with it. It's just the way it is. Angelina knows what I'm talking about. She knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Angelina knows. I'm sure she does.
She knows what I'm
I'm
talking
sure she
about.
does.
So really, I just don't like shell necklaces on people, and I wish people would stop wearing them. And I saw a guy with a shell necklace on about a month ago when I was out, and I felt bad for him and his stupid kid. And I was like, boy, look at that child. I bet you that child's gonna grow up and think that's a cool necklace to wear, and it's not. But that's just me being, you know what? There's a point in me right now that I feel a little bad because I'm being a little judgy right now. And I'm not going at this as hard as I thought I would because I feel like I'm being a little judgy about shell necklaces. Thinking back on the fact that I did. I should have thought about this better. I should have done some research and at least thought about did I wear shell necklaces? And I did. I definitely did. I had like 3 of them, and they matched certain attire that I wore. That's real. And I would change them out based on I can't wear this brown and off-white one because I'm wearing black socks and shoes today. So I'll wear the one that's black and gold because that goes with that because it's dark colors. And then if I'm wearing khaki shorts, I'll put on the tan one. And that was my life. Also, I
Shell
highlighted
necklaces did you own?
3. Also, I highlighted my hair. And when I say highlighted, I don't mean like, remember when frosted tips were cool? I didn't do that. I did.
Did it?
I didn't do frosted tips.
totally
I
did.
did highlighted hair. Literally blonde highlights in my 16 to 18-year-old stupid head. That was all my hair was combed and matted forward with 1,000 pounds of gel. What was that?
That was a hell yeah.
Oh, I can't tell what that is.
Oh.
I don't think our people at the microphones are going to tell what that is.
Well, I tried. I'm trying here. At least one of us is trying.
I'm not trying. I'm telling a story about young Josh and his terrible decisions.
I know, but it's the shell necklace.
You're just over it?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're over it.
That
I don't know. See, I don't know what
podcast
that
just
is.
got better.
No, it didn't.
I got sounds.
It got worse. You got buttons. I got buttons.
I got buttons. I got buttons.
Hashtag I got buttons.
I got buttons. Is it my turn now?
It is your turn.
Am I
I'm done.
allowed?
My rant about shell necklaces turned into a sad, sad story about myself.
That did devolve a little bit. I'm sorry that happened. I should have stopped you a lot sooner.
You should have.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I got this for you though.
Is that some Joker stuff?
It's called a psycho laugh.
Oh.
So that was
Sounds like a Joker-related
That was
thing.
for your psycho story.
I feel bad about telling that story now.
Well, I'll tell my story. Maybe it'll make you forget about yours. Maybe not. I
Good
don't know.
luck.
I don't know that. Anyway, So mine is it's actually two quotes.
Mm-hmm.
These
Quotes
these
Quotes you don't like.
that I don't like. I try not to use them. I'm sure I have used them in the past.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think we've all said at least one of these.
okay. I'm prepared.
Quotes. They're both from the same man.
Okay.
This man is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Huh? He's got some good quotes.
He does have some good quotes. What our studio audience just actually mouthed one of them. The first quote that I cannot stand is, and I'll say it with the best Arnold accent that I
Sure,
possibly
I mean, you have to.
that I possibly can.
I feel like you have to. Deep breaths.
Get to the chopper.
Oh, you don't like get to the
I
chopper?
cannot stand get to the chopper.
Yeah?
It's
Well,
chopper.
chopper. Okay,
It's
yeah.
chopper.
Chopper, right.
If you're gonna say it right.
You don't like get to the chopper?
No, why?
And why don't you like get to the chopper?
Because everybody uses it.
But he's saving people's lives.
I'm
Those
sure
people
he
are not
is.
100% like they see this chopper, and they're not 100% sure if they should board aforementioned chopper. And luckily, he's there to scream at the top of his foreign lungs.
And that's
to
gonna
get
make
on
me
it.
get on that chopper.
No, it might make you get on the chopper, maybe not the chopper.
Well, the other one, and we all know this one, is "I'll be back."
You don't like I'll be back?
I liked it when it first happened. It was cool. It was fun because of his
Oh,
accent.
so you're saying you don't? What you're saying here is you don't like the overuse of those two things.
Correct.
So it's not those two items are the items themselves.
Not the items themselves.
It's
It's
the
the
overuse,
trend that they caused.
Overuse of the
Yes.
items.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
And what like have you ever had a situation where somebody said something like that and you immediately punched them in the dick?
No, because I was at work and that's workplace violence, and I'm not allowed to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
There's going to be a hotline called, man.
I'm sure there's going to be a few phone calls. Yeah. We don't even have a hotline.
Yeah.
We should get one of those
A
too.
hotline. You mean for the show?
For the show.
We don't need a hotline
Yeah, I
for the
think
show
we do.
quite
I
yet.
think
This
we
is
do.
show number 1, and we're not even 30 minutes into the show number 1.
I'm spitballing here. I'm thinking outside the box. I have sounds.
I have sounds now. So you got nothing else for me on the trend thing, other than you just don't like the overuse of those two.
No, I don't like
those
them.
two things.
I don't like. I'm a little concerned. This is slightly off topic, but
Feel free to go wherever you want to go with this.
I
thing.
have some slight.
We
Concerns.
got plenty of time.
This is gonna meld not just movies. I'm kind of bringing TV shows into it too.
Okay.
You'll understand why in a moment.
Yeah. Let's
And
do it.
And don't get me wrong. I am a humongous fan of superhero movies.
Sure. Who isn't?
But how many are we going to have?
A lot.
And is it worth it if they are terrible in quality?
Well, kinda.
And
Because-
we have
because-
shows. There's a
because
Supergirl show coming out.
Right. Well, with every you're gonna have the bad ones to get the good ones. Not every apple's
Why do
ripe,
I?
man.
Why do I?
But not every apple's ripe. They gotta fall down. So, look, every now and then you gotta. It's like the same thing as like I would equate it to dating, right? As you're dating people, you gotta suck on a few worms. You gotta suck a few worms down with your apples to get to the ones that are good.
I don't disagree.
But you're gonna have to have the bad ones to have the good ones, because if superhero movies, if you do a really good superhero movie, which have been done a couple times, or really good superhero show, people are going to want to do those things more often because they say, okay, well, that's making money, so I just want to mass produce that
Right,
thing.
which is what's happening
It's
right
mass
now.
production of anything. That's
Right.
the way things work in America, period. Once one thing gets good, they mass produce it. Hence, hey, let's go the whole way back to when we were talking about sequels with stuff. That's why people rush to make sequels, and sequels suck a lot.
That's true.
Because you're rushing to get it done again and make more money. You saw
Right.
how much money the first one made, and we got enough money to make a second one, so F it, let's just make a second one.
duplicate that. And
And we'll just put this guy on Mars this time. Who cares?
who cares?
MARS.
Mars.
Mars, bitches.
Mars.
So, yeah, Twilight.
Twilight, yeah.
The studio audience is talking about Twilight. I mean, good point.
Yeah.
Stupid premise. I mean, I don't want to... See, okay. If I want to really dive into that, like, that's like if we go to the topic tiers of books, but I'm going to anyway, because it was shown to me.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is I hate the premise. And I hate the premise because the premise is vampires are sparkly
Right.
and have no known weakness.
Right.
and every Native American you meet is a werewolf.
And hot.
So
Don't forget and hot.
So that's
rather attractive.
That's the problem for me of like, it's slightly racist.
A little bit.
Slightly racist. And we are coming up on a couple days. We're 3 days away from National Remembrance of Native American Enslavement and Murder Day, which we also call Columbus Day.
Let's call it what it is.
So to me, the frustrating part for me, and this is what I've always said to like my wife, who really liked the books and hated the movies, and keeps telling me to give the books a chance, is I refuse to read that book because the reason I refuse to read that book is that if every vampire is their only weakness is you know I'm a vampire because I sparkle in the sun. Why don't they just go, look, sparkly me, you can't beat me, I rule the world? Why would they not be in charge of everything? Why would they go, let's go to the stupid forest in Seattle where it rains all the time and feast on deer?
Why deer?
Why? That's in the movie, I think.
Oh.
It might be in the book too.
Well,
I have no idea.
I didn't watch nor read any of them.
Right. Well,
for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you sit through things when you're married, and sometimes when you're married, you sit through about 15 minutes of the second one in your own home and laugh out loud at it too many times, and you get banned from your own living room for a small portion of the evening.
I'm going to assume that really happened.
That really happened. And, you know, in all honesty, I deserved it because it's a thing she wanted to see, and it's a franchise she liked, and I openly made fun of it right in front of her. So technically speaking, she was right to tell me to go F myself and go back to and send me to my room as if I was a child. What were we talking about? We have notes in front of us to make sure we stay on topic, but we hate what trends we hate in movies.
Get to the chopper. Yeah.
We hated that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you hated that stuff. I don't really care.
Stuff, yeah.
You just hate the overuse of it.
You hate shell necklaces for some
reason.
reason.
I just don't like shell
How do you feel
necklaces.
about coconut bras?
Coconut bras? I don't. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're itchy. I've never had one on, but I would have to assume that.
Would you try one?
No, I would not try one. You need to. It's about the support. It's not about the itchiness.
I mean, they're coconuts.
It's all about support.
I could imagine that.
I need support. I need support in both of my relationships and my breasts. Two things I would like. All right, I'm going to skip the favorite movie quote because we just talked about quotes, so it seems stupid to go back to that.
Yeah.
We might go back to that later.
We can, yeah.
So hopefully the first of what maybe we'll get more of them, like permanent segments on the show of hashtag Gimme 3 Reasons. So hopefully when this catches on, we say hashtag Gimme 3 Reasons. We talk about the Gimme 3 Reasons for something. You get to go out and hashtag it on the Facebooks or the Twitters or the multi-universes or Instagrams.
Snapchats.
Or is Friendster still around?
I don't know if that's
people still use Friendster? MySpace? Friendster and MySpace?
I don't know.
Remember
if they exist anymore.
Remember Friendster?
I do. I remember MySpace.
Friendster. I miss Tom, too.
Tom, yeah. He was my first friend.
He was everybody's first friend. Everybody's first friend.
Oh, I thought it was just my friend. Well, that sucks.
Remember that? Wasn't there a thing going around a while ago about he committed suicide or something? Tom did. That
That was a rumor. I don't know if that.
Which
really,
I don't think is true. I think he's probably alive and well and eating
eating
caviar off of a model's ass in Paris or something.
Did you ever have caviar?
No.
I refuse to eat it.
Yeah. You refuse to eat it? Why?
Yeah, because it's
fish related.
Yeah, I mean, I like
fish eggs.
That's more
because you know what it is.
Right.
You know what? I just said
if I didn't know what it was, I would probably eat it.
Let's hey, maybe we should rename this OFFtopicTEERS because OFFtopic.
You might be onto something.
Yeah, I might be onto something. OFFtopic on that. I was just having this conversation about like when you don't know what something is. Are you willing or less willing or more willing to eat it? Right? And I am one of those people that if it tastes good, you can tell me it is anything. Like you could sit there and in like a Chinese restaurant go, that beef is 100% dog. And I would go, they make the best goddamn dog in the known universe. It's delicious. And I hope this dog had a soul and a family and loved ones because it tastes so good.
You probably ate them all in the same sitting.
Fine with me. I don't care. And it doesn't matter to me. I mean, does that matter to you? Does it matter to you if you know what it is and it's something gross? Like if they're going to say, hey, man, this is 100% goat's balls that you're eating, if it's delicious.
That's
especially after you eat it. Once you've eaten it.
I mean, once I've eaten it, I've eaten it. I don't have a choice.
Right.
I mean, tell
you
me
can't
what it
uneat
is.
it.
I can't uneat it.
Well, you could throw it
I mean,
out.
I guess I could. Yeah, I could gag it out of myself. But if you tell me before, it's going to depend on what it is.
Well, before,
if you put a plate of meat in front of me and you tell me this is dog, I'm not going to eat it.
You're at the very least going to hesitate.
I
at the very least
probably won't eat it.
Yeah.
The goat ball thing, I might try a goat ball. I don't know what a goat ball tastes like. I don't know that I want to know what dog tastes like.
I was going to say, you said the reason you're going to, you just said the reason you're going to try is I don't know what it tastes like.
Right.
So that it implies you 100% know what dog tastes like.
Well, I don't. No, that's not what I'm implying. What I'm implying is I'm not going to eat dog because I own dogs and I love dogs and I don't want to eat them.
You don't want to eat your own
I don't
animals.
own cows.
Right.
So I'm fine eating a cow.
But if you owned a cow, you wouldn't want to eat it?
Not my cow. Well, if it died, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's dead, it's dead.
I have this theory that that pork is delicious, right? I mean, that's not the theory. That's a known fact.
That's a fact.
Pork is delicious. And the only way to make pork, i.e. bacon, ham, other pork-related things,
pork chop,
more delicious is to get yourself a pig, raise that pig in your backyard in a little pen, love it, name it, whisper sweet nothings in its ear, tell it to its face you're never going to murder it, and then kill it and eat it. Because the love will make it tastier.
It might, actually.
Like, I have zero problem eating something that I love. That thing just said a lot.
Would you eat your wife?
A lot about me.
And I don't mean...
I just said a lot about me.
If
I think that what I'm trying to say is I have zero problem eating a non-human.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
That I love.
I would probably eat a human.
I'm not sure you would eat a human being.
If it was a survival situation.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're going to that, you'd eat anything.
Well,
you'd even eat your dogs. Survivor situation.
Yeah, you're right. I probably
you
would.
wouldn't. You'd eat anything.
I wouldn't kill them
just
to eat them.
If you had the choice.
Oh, if I had the choice, yeah, no.
If you had the choice.
No, yeah.
I think if I had the choice, I wouldn't eat dog. I think what I'm trying to say is like post-mortem of eating. That's the best way I could describe
That's a good
that.
way of putting it.
Post-mortem of eating, I don't give a shit what it is. If I liked what it tasted like, I don't think I'm going to think any different of it anymore. Now, I will tell you there was a point in my life where there was, I was like, oh, no, ugh, I don't know what that is. I don't want to eat that again because I found out what it was. But that was before I realized asparagus is delicious and squash is delicious. And eggplant, even though it looks funny,
frog legs,
if grilled properly, is delicious. Frog legs are not bad, right? Alligator is actually pretty good. Snake is weird looking, but also delicious.
But, yeah.
So all those things are good, and I don't really... It opens up your mind to say, okay, well, back when I was a kid, and every time I'd go to, like, holiday dinners at my grandmother's, I'd make me hot dogs and macaroni and cheese, and then force her to cut them up in front of me and put them in my macaroni and cheese, which is all real life.
I 100% believe
I was a spoiled, rotten kid who was only forced to watch scary movies with his father.
Something's not adding up here.
Right, well, when the grandmother wasn't around or the mom wasn't around, my dad
scarred you.
Emotionally abused me. That's not right. That's me.
That's it. That's wrong.
I wasn't really emotionally abused. You clarify that in case anybody of importance is listening. Like maybe my dad listens to this at some point.
Hey, Dad.
And goes, hey, yeah, I emotionally abused my son. All right, woohoo.
Go me.
I did it.
Parent of the year.
I scarred him forever. I did it.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
So the segment that we got off topic on, here at the Off Topic Tiers,
give me 3 reasons.
Is #Give me 3 reasons. So we're going to do Give me 3 reasons why I or we should also hate the actor or actress you hate the most. Convince me why I need to viscerally hate this person in just 3 hopefully simple reasons that are, sometimes doable on Twitter or the Facebook. Or twit longer. Yeah, there's a plug for that, right?
There's
twit
a thing.
Longer.
You can twit longer now.
So stuff like that. Give me 3 reasons why you hate the actor or actress you hate. You want to go first?
I'll go first. These reasons are short and sweet, just like you want them to be.
Give me 3 reasons.
Do you want the name first?
You do this however you want to do
Well,
this.
it's gonna make sense if I give you the name and then tell you
Okay,
why I hate
that's
them.
fine.
You know, we didn't really rehearse this. What if we had the same person?
That's fine. I don't think we will. Trust me.
Okay.
I have like 4 or 5 people
All
I
right, good.
viscerally hate.
You have a back. I mean,
I have many a backup.
I didn't know, like, viscerally. Well, yeah, probably. All right. The actor that I cannot stand is Ben Affleck.
Oh, Batfleck. I mean, I don't like him. I just don't hate him.
Oh, I hate.
He's like
Hate.
He went from me. He went from me. It went from me
Hate.
hating him to like he's the retarded kid with Matt Damon that you're like, oh hey man, it's cool. He just follows Matt around. Like it's not a big deal. He's just Matt's buddy.
That's reason number 1.
Oh really? I'm sorry. I'm stealing shit.
Daredevil.
Daredevil's reason 1 or 2?
1.
1. Because he ruined
Because
Daredevil.
he ruined Daredevil.
Okay.
He, and I'll even elaborate a little bit more. It's not just Daredevil.
Yeah.
He cannot character act.
Nobody worried about this Batman situation then?
We'll get to that when I get to number 3.
Okay.
Number 2.
You teased us.
Number
Oh shit!
2,
You teased us.
You forced me to tease you.
Yeah, you
number
teased us.
number 2. You liked it. Number 2. No emotion.
No emotion.
He does not show emotions.
Yeah.
Period. When you watch him act, whether he's crying, whether he's happy, whether he's angry,
Yelling at Samuel L.
same
Jackson.
Emotion.
Yeah. Yelling at Samuel L. Jackson in that
Yelling
movie
at
where
Samuel L.
they had
Jackson.
that car chase for no apparent reason while they're both going to work.
Jiggly, whatever the hell that was about. No emotion.
That was about 2 rich people that wanted to make a movie.
Wow.
That's what that was about.
Which makes no sense. But no emotion. Stiff as a board.
Yeah.
You've seen him act.
Oh, plenty of times.
He's
you know
stiff
what?
as a board.
In all fairness, I will give him Reindeer Games. Reindeer Games is a fucking awesome movie.
Well, no, I didn't see The Town. I heard he was actually pretty good in The Town.
No, I'm not gonna watch that.
But I'm not.
Reindeer Games. Though.
I'm not counting that because I didn't see it. So, in my opinion, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Reason number 3, which I teased a little bit ago. For those that don't know, spoiler alert, if you're living
Under a rock, right? Yeah. How would you not know this?
he is playing Batman, Bruce Wayne,
The button.
in the new Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice movie
The beginning of the
coming
the Justice League nonsense.
2016 to a
Yeah.
theater near you
And an IMAX.
in IMAX.
You want to spend $16 to go see a movie?
And I understand that Christian Bale refused the offer.
Sure.
But why? Please tell me why you choose Ben Affleck.
Matt Damon was busy.
Sold. Sold.
I don't know.
I don't
man.
get it.
I don't have a reason for you.
I don't get it. I don't like it.
Are you worried
I've
about him
seen-
playing dark and brooding?
Yes. That's because it goes back to the character acting.
Are you worried because that's your favorite character of all time, and you're worried
Yes.
about a guy that you don't believe can act ruining that character? I mean, he can't. Well, let me take that back. He can't it's impossible for him to ruin that character. He can ruin it in that movie. He can't ruin the character as a whole.
No, he can't
Can
ruin the character. Well, he
Could he be
can
that bad
tarnish
in that
himself.
movie that he could murder Batman?
He can't.
That would
he's
be
not gonna
amazing.
murder the character of Batman, but he can tarnish the
2 people killed Batman.
cinematic.
Bane in the comics said Ben Affleck on the face.
I will personally accuse him of murdering Batman. Yes,
You're worried about that.
I have legitimate concerns about that. I've also heard and read rumors
Yeah.
that because of whomever has already seen this movie and has liked his
Like
performance,
Bits
that
and
they
pieces of it.
that they there's talks of a new Batman trilogy of him playing Batman.
Oh, a new Batman trilogy. Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean,
He does have the chin for it.
He does have the chin.
I've seen
for
the
it.
pictures
Sure he
of him
does.
in the full getup. He
Sure
has
he
the
does.
look. He does
Sure he
have
does.
the look. But can he play 2 separate characters, of which I haven't seen him play one character in a movie solidly?
Oh, you're talking about him playing the character of Bruce Wayne and the character
Correct.
of Batman within the same film.
within the same film.
Which I would wager to bet you would say Christian Bale did really well.
I think he did phenomenal.
I think he did really well too. I think he did a lot better. I think he did the best at that in The Dark Knight, but I think The Dark Knight has the It gets the constant rub. I think every time I think about The Dark Knight, I always think, am I giving it the rub of Heath Ledger? Like, Heath Ledger did so well that I'm just assuming everything in that was great. Like, I just go, well, that was just so good that the rest has to be good, because the one part was just so amazing.
I will not deny that Heath Ledger was phenomenal as the Joker.
Sure.
You can never take that away from him.
Mm-hmm.
But
The best Joker? No?
rant.
Yeah. Do your thing.
A, he's not the best Joker.
Okay.
Best Joker of all time belongs to Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. So you're saying cartoon Joker.
Out of any of Jokers. Period.
Okay.
Period. Whether you're acting them, whether you're voicing them.
Inclusive of 1960s.
We're not going to talk about the 1960s
That
series.
guy was fun. He refused to shave his mustache. It was hilarious.
That was exactly why we're not going to talk about the 1960s. He painted over his mustache.
He said, people will assume it's not there.
my gripe with the whole Heath Ledger thing is...
you got a gripe with it. Okay, let's
yes,
do this.
There's a gripe.
Let's get into this.
I-
If this ever gets big and this goes out, people are going to murder you
They're
on
going to
Twitter.
stone me to death, yes. Now, what some people may not know is Rise of the Dark Knight,
Mm-hmm.
the third movie in the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
was supposed to be, in its entirety, a Joker-centric story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to his untimely death,
Right.
we were unable to have that story.
Right.
And that script was completely rewritten to be Bane-centric.
Yeah. So Joker was supposed to do all that stuff?
It was a completely different story.
Oh, completely.
It was
not
completely
even,
yeah.
not
It
even the
wasn't
same
even
stuff.
that same.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
what they did with Bane was good because it is very, very true to what actually happened in the Nightfall series of comics. Like, it was
sidebar. Tom Hardy's the fucking man.
Tom Hardy is the man, and I'm not
Just-
knocking that movie.
Just period.
for
That dude is a beast.
My thing is, the Batman is iconic and is never going to die.
Sure.
He is going.
can't.
The character is going to live
I
forever.
mean, what, 75, 80, what, 90? How many years?
75. Last year
75?
was 75 years.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Something that's been around that long is not going anywhere.
No.
Right.
It's not going anywhere. My question is, even though the actor Heath Ledger passed away,
Uh-huh.
why not still have the story
Yeah.
with somebody else playing the Joker? I know as I'm saying it that no one probably could live up to his performance.
Right. Yeah.
However,
Yeah. You get the same stuff you're having right now with all the Jared Leto. I hate this Joker.
the Joker, right.
Right.
Just this country alone, we have 300 million people.
Sure we do.
Are you going to tell me that there is not one person that can't play the Joker somewhat as good as Heath Ledger did?
Similar is what you're saying.
Enough that we could have made that third movie.
I will tell you, in my honest opinion, I'm going to tell you no. And the reason I'll tell you no is because all the stuff I've read so far and the documentaries I watched and the blogs that I've been able to read and articles, that dude made himself insane to play an insane character. And I'm not 100% sure anybody else in this planet would be willing to or would have done that.
What about Jared Leto?
I mean, I've heard stories that like Will Smith said that he never saw Jared Leto on the set. He only saw the Joker.
Right.
Which,
He was in
that
character the
just
entire
means
time.
that he was in character the whole time, which is a little crazy, right? But
That's nuts.
we're talking about, like, the manuscript and the diary and the weirdness that you see that Heath Ledger kept and all those articles and clippings and all that stuff you've seen probably so far. It's
Yeah.
all over the internet. You
Yeah.
can watch it
It's out
anywhere,
there.
see it anywhere.
Right.
I mean, that stuff shows you the depth at which he was personally willing to dive into this, and I'm not 100% certain that there's too many people in this world. I know you said 300 million people in this nation.
Just in this
There
country.
wouldn't be somebody that's willing to do that, and I don't 100% know there would be.
And then maybe there's not. But did they look? Did they try?
Yeah.
Are they ever going to?
Well, I mean, I think what they're
Someone
mainly...
else is going to play the Joker eventually.
Well, somebody is.
Well, outside of Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Outside of Suicide Squad, although it's going to be a fantastic movie, isn't necessarily Joker-centric.
Right. No, of course
He's
not.
just a character.
It's about Will Smith killing Deadshot.
Right. And Harley Quinn with a lot of boobs.
Well, I'm thinking Maggie Rigel, Maggie something. Yeah, he just hopped that like he was Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
we have a breakout.
I'm thinking she'll be fine in that role. I think she'll be great in that role, actually.
I think she will be. I think she'll be fantastic.
I don't really have too much of a worry with that, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I guess I get what you're saying. I understand your rant. I mean, I do and I don't.
I think the biggest point I'm trying to get across is they had what I'm sure would have been a phenomenal story.
Sure.
And it's a story that we're never going to see because
how do you know that we won't see it? Maybe we will see that.
I don't know. Because if no one can replace Heath Ledger in that role,
well, no one can replace him.
Will we ever
I think
see it?
we're in a place now where I think that's why the Joker's in the Suicide Squad especially the amount that he's probably going to be in, which is minimal, is because we're approaching a point where people feel more comfortable with actually allowing that to happen. Whereas the internet would have lost its effing mind.
Yeah.
If somebody else would have been the Joker within like 2 years of Heath Ledger dying.
Yeah.
Especially, the year after he passed, the Oscars for a solid half hour was all about him. He won a post-mortem award, and then right after that they showed all the people that died, and like that montage is supposed to be 5 minutes long, and if I remember correctly, 3 minutes of that fucking montage was that dude.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm not saying that
and he got a standing ovation.
And I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it. I'm not saying that he didn't have a great career, and I'm not saying that I didn't watch the shit out of Knight's Tale, and I will forever, because I like that movie. I just plain like it. I'm not gonna tell you that that's not true, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's you have to be aware of when you're making movies or television or like mass consumed anything, what the large majority of people who are mostly stupid, what the large majority of people think and want. Because if you force down their throats something that you think is artistic and makes sense and you want, you're going to get, instead of making $30 million, you're going to make $30,000, and you're never going to work again.
So then the question becomes, and I'm bringing this full circle now.
Okay.
Because this is what we do around here. If Ben Affleck,
the butt flick,
does go on to create or act, perform in a new Batman trilogy, are we going to see the Joker in that trilogy?
That's a good question. Who knows? I would have to assume we're going to at some point in that trilogy. We would have to.
And does Ben Affleck have the acting ability to hold his own as far as Bruce Wayne or Batman against the character of the Joker?
Of whoever's going to play the Joker.
Whoever's going to play the Joker.
And hopefully dive themselves deep into that thing. Well, you never know who's going to play the Joker. Maybe they're going to suck at it, so it won't matter.
I still would have preferred Matt
And
Damon.
then they'll ruin both characters for you. Yay! Modern's world is crumbling around him.
It's all right. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. So that's your three reasons.
That's my three.
And now I know we went way off topic.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Well, you know what? You made some good points there. I don't belie you for that fact, some of those facts. My three reasons are going to be Battlefield Earth.
Oh, I already know where we're going with
Hairspray.
This. Yep.
And the fact that him and another guy I hate did face off. John Travolta. John Travolta is a horrible actor. He is so bad.
Agree.
If it wasn't for Nicolas Cage, who I got to be honest with you, I hate Nicolas Cage a lot, but I just sat 2 nights ago and watched from start to finish with commercial breaks on Spike TV, plug for Spike TV for no apparent reason, Con Air. And I'll be damned if that movie isn't so terrible it's amazing.
Absolutely.
That movie is so good.
He had long hair.
It is ridiculous.
It's fantastic.
His accent, Nicolas Cage's accent in that movie, he's supposed to be from Texas. When you're watching that, the next time you watch that movie, remember that he's supposed to be from Texas.
Now you made me want to go watch it.
From Texas. Just keep that in mind when you hear him talk. That's his Texas accent. That's what he thinks That's what he thinks Texas people sound like. But I got like a little bit off the beaten path of John Travolta.
Right.
John Travolta to me, it's the overacting. My biggest bugaboo is the overacting of everything. You said you hate the Ben Affleck because he has no emotion.
It's underacting, yeah.
I hate the overacting. Okay, we're going to let you talk. Okay, John, get in this room. We're going to let you talk about this orange for 20 minutes. And he is going to emote the most nonsensical stuff about a stupid orange. It doesn't matter. Like, just emote the amount you need to emote. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to, like, lose your mind about every little thing. I mean, Battlefield Earth, if you can sit through that entire movie, you should get, like, just a piece of gold directly from the Earth that's in its rawest form, and you should be like, here's gold. Congratulations. You sat through that whole terrible thing.
Kudos to you, sir, for making it through.
It had no plot, and everyone was bad in it.
Oh, it was a terrible movie.
And you got to sell John Travolta in platform shoes constantly, which I'm sure he loved, but nobody else did.
Nobody else cared.
Me and John Travolta don't get along. I mean, he hasn't. I got to tell you this. He hasn't ruined any movie. Like, he hasn't been in a movie that I thought, oh, it's going to be great. Because, like, I didn't think The Punisher was going to be good to begin with. And you're going to sit here and think, was John Travolta in The Punisher? Yeah, he was the main bad guy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
He was the main bad guy in the first Punisher movie. Yeah, the one with Kevin Nash, he was the main bad guy. He's the one who said, I don't give a shit about the guns, just get me the Russian. That's a thing. That's a line he says in it.
Yeah, I guess
to
it was.
Somebody. And then they go get the Russian, which turns out to be, I forget who, some bald guy probably. But
It's more than likely.
The first Punisher, which, I wasn't excited for anyway, and I knew wasn't going to be that good, which it wasn't. It was campy and... I don't know. Like, thinking back on it now, you're like, well,
it's all right.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
But it also could have been a lot better.
Well,
because like Frank Castle is a good character. The Punisher's a good character. Okay, it's not a bad character. The Punisher could be awesome. For instance, when they decided to let the Punisher kill the Marvel universe, that was a good couple comics. He murdered everybody. That was fun.
It was a good
just
story.
Like when Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe. Also, just fun.
Even better.
Just plain fun.
There's a Deadpool movie
There's a Deadpool movie, and it looks somewhat hilarious.
It looks fantastic.
I also like how during Deadpool like promos or shoots or interviews, Ryan Reynolds does not steer away from, but steer into the violent skid off the road that was the Green Lantern.
Right. Yep.
He goes, yeah, no, that was terrible. Let's turn into it. That was bad.
That was a bad thing.
I did a bad thing, and I shouldn't have done it. And I'm sorry.
Yep. I apologize.
I'm not I'm thankful I made some money off of it, but I'm sorry that it sucked and was terrible.
Yeah.
That's not 100% my fault.
Just another example of a superhero movie that
shouldn't have been
made.
Yeah. So those three movies are great. 3 great reasons why you shouldn't like John Travolta. Also, just to add a fourth for no apparent reason, overacting. Terrible overacting.
It is terrible
just
overacting.
Not good at stuff. And if he just would have stayed. If he just would have stayed as Kaneki, then we would have all been cool with it.
Yeah.
If he just would have been Kaneki, up your hose with a rubber nose. Hey, Mr. Kata. If he just would have stayed that way for years and years and years, I'd probably be fine with it. But he had to grow up and be a terrible, terrible actor in a movie called Face Off.
Yeah, he did.
By the way, watch that. Watch Face Off. If you want to be entertained for a solid 30 seconds, watch that movie, because you'll get a good 30 seconds of entertainment out of that 90-minute movie. It's fantastic. So moving on a little bit here. So we'll get off the give me 3 reasons. But on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, whoever's reading this.
How do you read a podcast? We're not transcribing this.
Whoever's listening, watching, however we put this, feel free to go out on the Faceplace or on the Twitters. And on the Instagrams or Friendster, if you still have Friendster or MySpace. And hashtag give me 3 reasons. Give me 3 reasons why we should hate the actor or actress you hate. Hashtag it that, and then hopefully we'll have a Twitter or a Facebook that you can also link us at, because we we don't have one of those.
We'll work on that.
We didn't think ahead.
No, we didn't. We didn't think
Good
that through.
for us.
We didn't think that through.
All right. So I'm going to let you introduce the next topic, because you haven't done that yet. I drove a lot of this.
No, that's fine. In fact, you were actually segueing into it.
I was, slowly.
When you were recommending Face Off to...
I was slowly getting in there.
To everyone. The next topic that we're going to talk about is what is out now. what movie is out there now that we care about enough to recommend
Yeah.
you to watch?
Maybe coming out.
Or
Something
coming
that's-
soon.
Something
Right,
that's
coming
going to be
soon.
around. Something that we care about that you should immediately start caring about because we care about it.
Yes, we do. I'm going to go first.
You go first.
Mine is a movie that I actually just watched.
Oh, you just saw it. Okay.
Just saw it last weekend, 2 weekends ago, somewhere in that ballpark. Mad Max, Fury Road.
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
So you saw it. This is out on DVD now, right?
Yeah, it's on DVD. I pulled this out of the red box. It's in
DVD
the,
on
it's in the red
demand.
box.
Netflix. Give us some money. Any of those people that heard that,
Yeah, any one of those.
especially Netflix.
We love you all. We
you
use,
have
we use
the
all
money.
of you. Amazon Prime.
Start saying stuff. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Pepsi.
Ford. Built Ford tough.
Bowflex.
Anyway, Mad Max, Fury Road. I had not seen the 3 previous Mad Max movies.
Okay.
A, I didn't know there was 3 previous Mad Max
Sure,
movies.
yeah.
There is.
There is. There
They're a little
absolutely
older,
is.
like 70s-ish is when they came out.
Well, Mel Gibson actually in 2 of them, I believe.
Yes, Mel Gibson, yeah. Pretty big actor.
I don't think he's in all 3. Is he in all 3?
No, he was only in the last 2.
Okay.
The last 2 of the first 3.
Right.
Yeah. The middle 2 of all 4.
Right. The middle 2.
Yeah, the middle 2 of all 4. The Mad Max Fury Road is main character played by Tom Hardy, who
Hardy.
we've already spoken
Who's
about.
a monster.
Who played Bane
Uh-huh.
in Rise of the Dark Knight,
Right.
which should have been about the Joker.
Yeah, I'm going to get to him in mine too.
Anyway.
Because there's another movie that's coming out that you should all want to see.
I think I know which one you're talking about. What I would recommend, and I didn't do this, but I'd like to do it, is watch Mad Max a second time. I'm not going to lie. It's
This one, the
the
current
new
one.
one. Yeah, the new one. It starts out a little, I guess, slow.
Yeah.
Maybe confusing.
I haven't seen it. I have not
Okay.
seen the new one. My wife has. Coincidentally, the person who loves the movies the most, my wife, has seen
is
it.
not
And
here.
you would think that she wouldn't want to go see that movie, but she was super pumped to see that movie. And I said, nah, I'm tired. I don't want to go. So she just, what happened? Went without me.
Kudos to her. Once it got, I mean, I'm not going to, no spoiler alert here. I'm not going to give any plot to it, but you get about a half hour in,
Yeah.
and it takes off.
Yeah.
You hang on for the ride. It's a great story,
Yeah.
great action, fantastic movie. Again, I don't want to give anything away because I want those of you who are going to see it to enjoy it for what
to
it
watch
is.
it for what it's worth.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Pick it up. Redbox, Amazon, Netflix,
Bowflex.
Hulu. Does Hulu show movies? Hulu.
Bowflex does it.
Bowflex. But you can use your Bowflex while you're watching it.
Sure you can.
And the action, you'll be perfect.
Mhm.
Get some water. Bottled water.
Get some water.
Giant Walmart.
Yeah. Aquafina.
Aquafina.
Uh-huh.
Coca-Cola.
There you go.
Coke product.
Good stuff. What else? Anything else?
That's coming out?
Yeah, coming out or already out or anything you think we need to care about. What do we need to care about, Mater? Tell us what we need to care about.
All right.
Other than global warming.
I'm going to do this, and I know I'm going to get eye rolls when I do this, but we all need to care about Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah, we do. I was actually going to get there. You ain't getting eye rolls from me, brother.
You
You might get eye rolls from the live studio always. You ain't getting eye rolls from
Pretty
me.
sure I did. Pretty sure I did. We all need to care about this movie.
And why do we need to care about it, Mater?
This Disney now owns Star Wars.
Sure they do.
George
We should-
Lucas is still involved.
We are all very aware of that. At least we should be.
Well, again, unless you're living under a rock, you already know this.
Disney doesn't want to let us not know that.
However, thinking this through, if you meld the genius that is George Lucas
Sure. Yeah.
with the powerhouse that is Disney,
The money. Right.
you've got a mega hit on your hands.
Sure, you have to.
And this is the first
Because they could do
in
whatever
another
they wanted.
trilogy.
J.J. Abrams is attached to it.
Oh my God, J.J.
And you know
Abrams.
he's trying.
Right.
You see the stuff he puts on
Right.
Twitter and Facebook.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you need to care about this movie.
I already care about it. Star Wars for me is in my heart and soul forever, because that the first 3 movies meant a lot to me. I liked them. They were amazing. They were good to watch. It was something that brought my dad and I also pretty close because he grew up with them, so we got to watch them together, and he got to see me experience them for the first time.
That's cool.
Which is an interesting thing to be able to watch. Like, oh, I know what's going to happen, but let's watch this kid like experience this whole crazy stuff.
Right.
Like, guess what? That thing that you hated, that's mainly a machine that you maybe know it's a machine. That's his dad. Yeah, he just cut off his hand. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that shit insane? So and like just it's a good story. It was a well written story. It was an adventure, right? Now, 1, 2, and 3 had its errors. Jar Jar Binks.
I don't disagree.
Went off the rails a little
I don't
bit.
know why everyone hates Jar Jar.
He's a terrible character, man.
Lisa loves a Jar Jar.
He's a dumb idiot. He does nothing. He doesn't do anything of, like, the only thing he does is in the very last episode, or is it the last episode or the second one? Which was the one where he's like, hey, I'm the reason why all my people are now fighting.
That was the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
Well, if you
was the Clone Wars.
if you actually look at that movie, he's the reason they almost didn't. Every single one of his other countrymen or Planeteers or whoever the fuck you want to call
Gungans. They were Gungans.
Okay. Every other one was like, yeah, let's fight these things, and he's like, doop-a-doop-boo-boo, almost blow up the Capitol.
He did totally.
So,
yeah, that's a real thing.
So like he's the reason. He's not the reason they're like, yeah, here to save the day. He's the reason they almost were like, dude, let's just leave the planet. F this.
Let's just screw this.
Let's just leave the planet to this idiot and all those stupid clones, and we'll leave.
Get the hell out.
But
Episode 3 made up for that.
Episode 3 was decent. Yeah, the fight scene in episode 3.
Correct.
We're in a lava planet, and we're fighting on these floating droids, which was just plain awesome. And we're throwing each other into lava, and our parts of us are melting off.
Yes, or getting cut off.
It's just fantastic, just great.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Parts of it are, take it or leave it, but, Ewan McGregor's not one of my favorite actors either. I could have gone on forever, man. I have 3 reasons to hate a lot of people. But anyway, I'm generally a positive person.
Yeah, I know. Well,
just have a bunch of bile spewing out.
You gotta get it out. You gotta get it out.
At some point, I gotta direct it at somebody or something. This microphone's gonna get it. All right.
Need a sound effect for that.
Yeah.
Well, see if I can find one quick for you.
So anyway, is that your last one that we should care about? Is there anything else coming out that you think we should care about or is out? Or
Well, we already talked about the Deadpool movie.
Yeah, sure.
That's another one that everyone's going to care about, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to care about that movie.
You should care about it. If you're a comic book fan at all, you should care about it. And if you're not a comic book fan, you should also care about it too, because it's not. It's a decent way to get somebody that's not into comics into a comic thing, because he's so sarcastic that it should be at least somewhat funny to normal people.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit over the top, where there's going to be some people that go, this is a little hokey. But as long as you make sure that you take the people that you're taking that may not be into it and say to them up front, this is going to be a little hokey. So just so you're prepared.
Right. You should go into it knowing what it's going to be.
I think I love it because it's Deadpool, and I like Deadpool. I like the premise of it. I like the fact that he breaks the fourth wall all the time. I mean, it's hard not to like Deadpool if you like comics. I just put it that way. It's hard not to like the guy. Or the character, not the guy.
Right.
Not the
character.
actual human being. Because the human being is a terrible human being who murders people.
But that's Don't do that, kids.
Don't drop out of school and murder people. The movies I think you should care about. I recently went to a day-long marathon of 3 movies in a row that I saw, and I saw with my wife for our 4th anniversary of our wonderful marriage together and her stupid mistake 4 years ago of agreeing to marry me. We saw Black Mass, then we saw The Martian, then we saw The Walk in 3D IMAX. And of the 3, I would tell you that 3D IMAX is the way to see The Walk because it's visually stunning. The acting is not on point. But, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's not a terrible actor. He's not. I don't hate him for a lot of the stuff that he's done. He's not too good in this movie, and a lot of the accents are a little hokey and forced. And, they break French accents constantly, and you're like, oh, he's American for a second. Oh, no, back to French. But visually, it's amazing. So see it in 3D IMAX, 100% worth it. In fact, we sat in the back and watched it, and I actually wish we would have sat at the exact front and watched it because it would have been even awesomer.
Oh, wow.
In the front, like head tilted back, straining to see, and you'd leave with your eyes like fully dilated, like you just went to the eye doctor and you can't drive for 4 hours. That's what I would suggest. But of those three, I would tell you Black Mass has the best acting, and you should care about it because if you go watch that movie, or you ever see that movie, do me a favor and try to remember at some point in that movie that the guy you're watching slowly terrify you into just peeing a little in your pants is also the dude that plays Jack Sparrow. And that shows you how good of an actor and how much range Johnny Depp has, because he can play a guy that you're not 100% sure if he's going to rape and or murder everyone on the screen, or if he's just going to funnily, drunkenly roll a giant wheel down a sand embankment.
For no reason at all.
For no reason. That's
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Right. That's actually not a terrible accent right there.
Thanks.
I mean,
that was not practiced either.
Right?
That was right off the cuff.
Not bad.
Never going to be able to duplicate.
So
that.
I would suggest that, and right off of that, I already talked about how I love Tom Hardy, and I've seen this preview. I've seen 3 previews already, 3 different ones for a movie called Legend, that is about a real life brother duo in England. I think they're called the McRaes, if I remember correctly. That he plays both twins. I think Robbie McRae and something else. I don't know for sure. You Googling it?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's McRae. Not super important that we have that accurate, but that movie looks really good, and the fact that he's playing both characters.
It's just Cray. Ronald
Cray. Okay, McRae, a little too far. So Cray.
Yeah, Cray.
He looks really good as both characters. The scenes I've seen, and granted, scenes that you see in previews can muck things up for you a little bit that don't really end up making it make a lot of sense. But I've seen him in a couple other like outlaw or gangster movies, and he's always pretty good at that. So I think he's going to be a darn good gangster, because it's basically based on them being gangsters in London and just being a little batshit crazy. At least one of them is. I think both of them kind of are, but one of them is definitely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And it just looks amazing. It looks crazy. It looks action-filled. It looks like actually has a story behind it. So it's not just like, hey, we're going to shoot this guy over here for literally no reason. We're not going to tell you why we did it. We're just going to do it. And then we're going to make you, the viewing audience, look at his dead body for a little bit and just deal with that. Deal with dead body on your screen for a little bit.
Yeah.
And no explanation. I think it's going to be a little bit better than that kind of stuff. So those are the movies that I think you should care about it. The Martian wasn't bad. Me picking Black Mass over The Martian, I don't think it's super surprising, because Martian's a lot about science. And I did read the book, and I liked the book. The book was very good, and I actually will give Matt Damon credit where credit is due. He played that character very well, because in the book he's a smartass, and on the movie screen he's a smartass, which I enjoyed. It's good to be a smartass sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you're getting paid for it.
Especially when you're getting paid for it. That's right. So those are the movies I'm thinking you should care about. Anything else popped in your head while I was talking there? No?
No, not really.
Because I think we have time to do one more thing, and then we should wrap this.
I mean, everyone should see Batman versus Superman when it comes out. Just keep an open
Even though
mind.
You complained about it for like
just
20
keep it
minutes?
open. It's Batman. It is Batman who is going to defeat Superman.
Yeah, well, he's not. That never happens.
Just go with it.
Well, actually, no. I used to say all the time, Batman never defeats Superman, but I have been proven that is almost 100% wrong.
Right.
Nearly 100%
right.
wrong. Because I have watched a bunch of like YouTube clips and different things and read some blogs that apparently a bunch of the times that I thought Superman always won, Batman won a lot.
Batman won a lot, yes.
I'm not aware of that.
I'm
not aware how many times Batman won. Like Frank Miller let Batman win.
Yes, he did.
And Frank Miller is a god in comic books.
Absolutely.
Frank Miller said
he is
Batman
the god.
wins.
Yeah.
Batman wins for some reason.
Wins.
Which, in my personal opinion, because I'm a Superman fan, I don't get. But, we're
going to save that for another podcast.
That's a whole other thing.
We are saving that topic for a whole
other
other
we could go another 20 minutes.
Because we are going to get into that.
Sure, we don't want to get into that too much.
No.
So let's finish up with we talked before how we wanted to get onto movies we talked about sequels when this all started. Full circle.
Full circling.
We talked about sequels, and maybe let's talk about hit on like what movies, like two parts of it. What movies didn't have sequels or didn't have a franchise, like, or what movies should have had, what movie or movies that you've seen should have had more movies in your opinion, and or what movies should have had far less. Like if you think, hey, there's just not enough Rocky movies.
6 isn't enough?
For the love of God, why'd they stop at 6? And I know they're making Creed, and Creed technically, Apollo Creed movie,
Right.
Creed is not a Rocky movie, but, you know, technically speaking, it is.
Yeah,
So-
Rocky's in it.
7 is just not enough. I need that 8th. Or hopefully they make another Fast and the Furious movie. Feel free to let me know.
They are making another one.
Feel free to let me know, but I would highly doubt that you would be on either of those bandwagons.
I would not know.
What do you think? What do you think? What movie or movies should have been more of?
Batman.
There's already how many Batman movies, man?
There's never enough Batman movies.
So you're saying what? There's the Keaton was in 3, right? And then Kilmer was in 1 or 2.
Keaton was in 2.
Keaton was in 2.
Kilmer
Kilmer
was in 1.
3. Was in 1.
And George
Clooney
Clooney
was in
1.
The best Batman, George Clooney.
Christian Bale was in 3.
Christian Bale was in 3.
And then you have this other guy
That's going to be at least 1.
Right.
So I didn't keep count of how many that we went through that. I don't know. What
This will be 8.
8. So 8 Batman movies is not enough for you.
No.
How many? What is there enough Batman movies?
What
according
I-
to you? Or are you going to give me this nonsense of like
There isn't enough Batman movies.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's gonna understand that?
No, well,
I
that's-
got way too close to the microphone.
we might be able to save that. What I would have preferred to have seen was 1 or 2 additional movies on the Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay.
Because I think they had a really good thing going, even up through Rise of Dark Knight with the Bane situation.
Yeah.
That I think they could have done more with some of the other villains
Yeah.
and kept the story going a little bit longer.
With Batman or with Nightwing taking over? Because it looked like at the end of that movie.
I would have been perfectly fine with.
Looked like at the end of that
Nightwing
movie they
taking
were
over.
either training a new Robin or training it was going to be Nightwing or whatever the Blake was going to do.
Right.
Whatever they were teasing,
going
whatever they're
with it.
teasing there.
Right, but that's not materialized.
Right.
to
That's
anything.
nothing.
Right.
That's probably.
I
gonna be
would have
nothing.
liked to have seen that end.
Would you count a Nightwing movie as a Batman movie,
Yeah, I would.
or would it be its own standalone thing?
No, I'd count that as part of the.
Part of the
I'd count
Batman
it.
universe.
Yeah.
Well, any other movies that you'd want more of? I mean, obviously you just gave me one. Like
Did I want more of? Yeah, absolutely. Clerks.
Clerks. Yeah.
Clerks.
Well, isn't there already 2 Clerks or
Yeah,
3?
there's 2.
Okay.
There's 2. I want a third.
Because I know they're making another like Mallrats.
They are making them all rats too. That's
in I believe it's Mall Brats, and it's going to be in a mall that I believe is in Pittsburgh.
yeah, they're filming that in Pittsburgh somewhere
Yeah.
outside of Pittsburgh.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Why Clerks?
Because Clerks is about the everyday Joe Schmo who works behind a counter.
Yeah.
First one was at a
Convenience store. Right. Yeah.
Second one was at a burger joint.
Sure.
These are everyday people.
Yeah.
We know these people. Some of us have been these people. Are these people?
Yeah.
I want another movie about it.
Do you feel like you want another movie about it because you either were or are?
I was, yes.
Was.
Yeah.
So it's connecting with you on a personal level.
The beauty of it is that Kevin Smith, who directs and writes this movie, both
Sure.
of these movies, also lived that when he was
Yeah.
a younger Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And
a younger
writes it
Kevin.
100%
The way life is.
the way life is when you're a clerk.
That's what you want. That's what you want to feel like.
That's
though. You want to
right.
see that in the movies when you're going.
Right.
If something it's personal to you.
Plus they're hilarious.
Any movies? Any other like that, or any movies you thought there needs to be way less of?
Yes, there's one
Other
franchise.
than the ones
that-
we already made fun of.
No, I didn't make fun of this one. However, I did suggest that we see the newest one of this
Uh-oh.
movie.
You're gonna go back on yourself here, buddy.
I'm gonna Matumbo
Uh-oh.
myself for a brief moment. I don't necessarily know that we needed
The snake's eating its own
episodes
tail.
1, 2, and 3
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
of
now.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, huh? Why don't we
Episodes
need
4,
1, 2,
5, and
3?
6, which we only called 4, 5, and 6 after 1, 2, and 3 came
Yeah.
out, were a phenomenal group of movies.
Mhm.
Phenomenal trilogy. The story was fantastic. special effects were fantastic.
4, 5, and 6.
4,
you're
5,
talking
and
about.
6.
Okay.
Yeah. When 1 came out, Phantom Menace,
Uh-huh.
that movie almost single-handedly destroyed the Star
Murdered
Wars
the franchise.
franchise.
Right. Of course.
It redeemed itself slightly when you got through episode 3. Not
But because it's
great.
unmurderable, just like Batman.
correct.
You know what's interesting is it sounds like you're very worried about things that are unmurderable getting murdered.
I am. I have a fear of that.
But it's unmurderable.
But is it?
Yeah. Because look at what episode you're just saying. Like, I agree with you. Look what episode 1 did to that franchise, and yet look at where that franchise is right now. Disney is pumping a buttload of money into that franchise.
Yeah, Disney's owning it right now,
based on
which is why I'm excited again.
like the 4, 5, and 6, and not really 1.
Correct, and that's why I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because we're still kind. Yeah, we know
So
1, 2,
they
and 3
shouldn't have had
happened.
one-
But
you're saying they shouldn't have had 1, 2, or 3.
I don't.
You don't think it's necessary to tell that story?
I don't think it was necessary to tell that story.
Why not? Don't you think Anakin Skywalker is a pretty big part of the story? He's in 5 of the there's 9 movies, right? He's in 5 of them. That's more than half.
He is, but sometimes there's a lot to be said about.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He's in 6.
He's in 6. Yeah, there's a lot to
He's
be
in
said
6.
about a
Never
supervillain
mind.
that you don't know the origin of,
Yeah.
because then it leaves the mystique about the character and why
Would
he
you
is who he is.
Would you hate like having maybe I'm equating this to anime right now, which is a whole other off-topic tier. I like that better, by the way. We're gonna have to change.
Yeah,
our
we're
name.
changing that name. Yeah.
A whole other anime thing, but like an OVA, like anime OVAs, which are maybe 10 to 12 episodes out of a 300 episode series that are completely offshoot by itself that describes something else. What if there was something like that, like a one shot or an OVA or like a little mini series? Because don't you think that part of Anakin's life needs to be you need to not just hear about it but experience it, because you need to understand how a guy that could be that good got that evil?
I can see where you're going, but nobody knew that they needed to experience that until episode 1 was announced.
Yeah. So you don't think at the end of episode 6 people weren't like, okay, this guy we hated in the first one, which was 4, and this guy that we were like shocked about who he was in the 5th one, and started to actually
Right.
feel for a little bit because we started to realize who he was.
Right.
And then we actually ended up siding with by the end of 6. We don't want to know about how he got into a half cyborg monster of death.
I'm sure there's people out there that wanted to know right away. I wasn't one of them, though.
Yeah.
I appreciated it for
So
what
you,
it was.
You think it's important? You would actually say that it's important to have none of that.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's an interesting take. I enjoy that take.
I know I'm the minority. I'm
I
the,
would-
like,
I would-
big
I would-
minority when it comes to that.
I
but-
would tell you that I agree with you that 1, 2, and 3 are not necessarily needed as 2.5 hour long movies, each of them.
Right.
And then you could have done that in an OVA type situation where a mini series or put it on TV and explain what Anakin was for the
Yeah,
people that
that
wanted
would've
it.
been better.
But
I'm sure it's in a book somewhere.
yeah, I'm sure it's in comics and a
Right.
graphic novel.
Right.
For me, I think I think I'm going to be really selfish here and tell you that I wish that for both things. I wish there were more Fear and Loathing movies, because Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is a crazy, trippy movie with Johnny Depp and the dude who's in Sicario, who is the assassin. What is his name now? I'm like forgetting his name at this point. That is terrible of me. He was also. You're gonna Google it.
I'll look it up for you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, and we'll figure out what the name is.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of that, but I understand why it's a standalone thing. It makes sense. I just wish there were more, because it was such like it was a movie about like just getting a writer getting immensely high and like a lot of crazy things and seeing some crazy things, just being involved in some crazy nonsense. Also, and saying again, being selfish, I wish there was more Big Lebowski's. I wish
Benicio del Toro.
Del Toro. There it is.
Toby
It's
Maguire is in
Del
that movie
something.
too, by the way.
In what movie?
Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing. Yeah.
Toby
There
Maguire.
you go.
Spider-Man. Peter Parker.
It was pre screwing up Spider-Man. Can't blame him then for Spider-Man.
Blame him now.
Yeah, blame him now. I wish, and this is also me being real selfish, I wish there was less Dumb and Dumbers.
I am with you on that 100%.
And I know there's only 3 of them, but I didn't see. I
That's
didn't see.
too many.
I didn't see the last one. I didn't see it, and I'll be completely honest with you. I wanna see. There's 3. Yeah, there's a prequel.
There's 3 of them.
There's the original, and then there's a prequel.
Yeah.
Studio audience is asking us questions. There's 4. You thought there was 4? There better not be 4. The ones I remember, there's Dumb and Dumber. There's Dumber and Dumberer, which is the prequel. And then there's Dumb and Dumber, this last one.
Right.
And I forget what it was called. Dumb and
Wasn't
Dumber
it just
something.
Dumb and Dumber 2 or something?
Yeah, I think it was just called
I think
Dumb and
they
Dumber
actually,
2.
like, sequeled
Like
it.
ignored the fact that the first dumb the Dumber
The
and
prequel.
Dumberer
Right.
happened, which was terrible. I haven't seen the last one, and I still want to see it because I was such a big fan of Dumb and Dumber. But I'm not so sure that movie needed to keep happening. I understand that it was a cult classic and people wanted to see it more, and I did love it. Absolutely loved it, and there's some great scenes in it. And Harlan Williams drinking that pee and having that weird reaction is a fantastic thing.
That was fantastic.
That Harlan Williams did, and I know it's not about the actors that were the main parts, but like, what's the most annoying sound in the world? The mockingbird thing.
Yep.
They giving the blind kid a parakeet with its head duct taped on. It's just fantastic.
It was awesome.
One of the best scenes in that movie that I personally love is when he says, "I got to break out the bubbly," because he got him a date, but he lied to him about getting the date, and he breaks out the bubbly, and the champagne cork flies off and hits the endangered owl in the head and kills it, and everybody goes, "Oh my god!" Like, they're just quiet, they're stunned quiet, and Lloyd goes, "This party really died, huh?" And then they just leave.
And
And it's also amazing the suits they wear, and how like he hates every suit that's perfect for him, and then they like the crappy one.
And the van.
Dance around the van.
The
is
dog
perfect.
van.
So many good things.
They lift the leg to fill it up. I mean, that's
So many good things in that movie. Just so many funny things. The stupid humor was great.
yeah.
As we're coming up on the end here, movies that there should have been less of. I mean, the Rockies should have been less Rockies.
Yeah, Rocky.
There should have been less Fast and Furiouses. There's definitely no way that there should have been as many step ups or
What about the Saw movies?
or bring it ons. Well, the Saw movies get a pass because like horror movies just get remade. That's just the way it is. You make one.
I mean, I
horror movie
own
that makes,
all of them, but
you make one horror movie that makes anywhere more than like $20 million. You're making at least 4 more.
Yeah, you're making more. Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Like Scream, the Scream movies.
You're just making more.
You're just
It's
making more.
The way it is.
Yeah.
It's you have enough of a cult following with those kind of scary movies that you're gonna have to create more. There's a lot of movie franchises that didn't need to keep going. I will tell you this: there's a part of me that's not a fan of how many Peter Pan movies there were. At the same time, I'll tell you that the Pan movie that's coming out does look extremely interesting.
Yeah,
at least.
I'm intrigued by it. I saw a preview for it.
I hate Hugh Jackman, so I'm a little worried about him being involved in it.
Might be all right,
But whatever.
Might be all right.
It's just some movies get diluted. I do think Peter Pan suffers from being diluted a little bit, but I don't want to get too far into that because that's a whole other topic, and we're nearing the end of this thing, and I don't want this to be too long. We're already near an hour and a half, basically.
I have one thing to add to this topic though.
Oh,
which is along the lines of series that shouldn't have had as many
It's
movies.
a nice microphone to get at Sears, by the way.
And
Just now
shameless
noticing
plug for Sears.
that. Yeah.
What I
job,
don't
Sears.
like, and this has been happening a lot lately, is a book series that's turned into a movie series.
Sure.
We have what normally is one movie equals one book.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we've been deciding that the final book in any of these series, Hunger Games,
2 books,
Harry
is 2
Potter,
movies.
we split into 2 movies.
And what they normally say the reason is because the last book has so much stuff in it to wrap it up because it has to be such an important part of the. It has to be such an important
always.
book.
I mean,
Because you're
look-
wrapping up so many things.
Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection. One book, one movie.
Oh, well,
They were long movies.
How about one book, 3 movies?
I'll give you. It was technically broken down into 3 parts.
I was gonna say
The book itself was broken into 3 parts.
I'm talking about The Hobbit, man.
Oh, you're talking about The Hobbit?
One
yeah,
book,
that's
3
another
movies.
One. Well, yeah, 1 book, 3 movies. No, not necessary.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
So Harry Potter could have been how many movies?
Harry Potter should have been 7 movies.
7. One
per
movie
book.
for each book.
Yeah. Ended up being
I was
8.
wondering if you were thinking they could smush some stuff together and get to 6.
They probably could have.
Yeah,
They probably.
I
could.
actually
I mean,
like-
they butchered those books as it is.
To be honest with you, well, first of all, I was gonna say I love the books.
Oh, the books are fantastic.
I saw the first movie with my wife, and I didn't want to watch it. Right?
Yeah.
We were just going out, and she said, "Come see this movie with me." It was actually our first actual date. We went to Isaac's, and then went to see. Actually, went to Harry Potter, went to Isaac's, and actually. Weird fun fact, saw her dad on the way to Isaac's, who ended up joining us for the date, which got a little,
yeah, that's weird.
super comfortable for me.
Right.
But I saw the movie and I was like, oh, this is pretty intriguing. So I read the books that were out at that point, which when the first one came out, I believe there were already 5 books out. I think we're wrong about that, 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's
the
probably
5th
4 or
one was
5.
coming out.
Yeah, you're probably about right.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So I read the first one because I saw the movie, so I speed read it because I'm like, well, this is pretty much all in the book, all in the movie. So I'm like speed reading through it, and I get to the second one, I'm reading a little bit more, and I actually end up reading it faster. The second book and the third book and the fourth book, and I loved the 5th book. The 5th book was amazing, and I think the 5th movie was pretty good. My favorite movie was actually. My favorite movie was not the favorite book was Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
My favorite movie was the Goblet of Fire, where Twilight guy dies.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He gets all vampire-y.
He gets glimmery
He gets glimmery in the sunlight.
in the sunlight.
It's a whole other thing we can get back into.
There's another series we had too many movies of Twilight
Because they broke the last one into 2 again?
because they made 1.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of people that I've talked to in my life that have read those books and swear by those books and have tried to get me to read the books because they keep telling me they're so much different than the movie and they paint a much better story.
Yeah.
That have told me those movies sucked, which I believe those movies suck. So I never really sat down and watched a lot of them.
Neither have I.
But I think that those books and those movies teach a valuable lesson. Kids, be wary of Native Americans. They're all werewolves. Every single one of them is a werewolf.
And they're hot.
They're all werewolves. They're constantly werewolves. And if you see a Native American with their shirt off, they're a werewolf.
Count the abs.
That's why they have their shirt off. Werewolf.
Werewolf.
And if you ever see a very glittery man, he's not gay. He's a vampire.
He's a vampire. These are the things we have learned from Twilight.
From Twilight.
Thank you, Stephanie Myers.
Yes, thank you so much. So, on that horrible note to end a podcast on, we're going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do it. Feel free to share us on the social medias with the Friendsters and whatnot. Keep plugging Friendster that's not around anymore.
MySpace.
The MySpaces with the Tom and whatnot. Hopefully we'll make this a bi-weekly thing, and we'll hammer this down a little bit better so that not only it doesn't go as long, but it's better written and
Better
put
prepared,
together.
maybe.
We'll do some research.
I promise
next
better sound
time.
effects.
More buttons.
More buttons.
So I don't really have a sign off right at this point. Like, hey, see you later. Stay dandy. I saw as a one podcast thing. What does Stone Cold do? I don't know. Stone Cold does something like see you next time, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Well, it might even be a next time, so it doesn't even matter.
We could do, and I don't want to steal something from somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe we could twist it on our own way. But one of the fellers that I follow on YouTube, shout out to Boogie2988. He signs off every one of his videos with, "I love you all, thank you, and we'll speak with you again soon."
That's real nice.
I thought so.
I think we could end on that. I was going to
think
just
we can
say
do that.
nothing. I should have just said nothing and made you hit.
I almost
Stop.
did, but then you started talking.
And then I started talking and
I
ruined
pulled
it.
back.
I ruined it.
I pulled back.
I ruined it.
It's all right. Next time.